Hello and welcome to Lexington. Lexington is a Tier 8 tech carrier for the American branch. Now, she used to be called, and this was her nickname back in the day, Wreckington, because she was so powerful. And I honestly, and I'll give you my honest opinion, I thought when operations came in that she was terrible. That I did not think. I felt like everything about her was really weak. The planes felt slow compared to what they used to. The rockets weren't what they used to. The torps were just slow. But I was laying in bed one night and I was thinking, I've got to give this ship one more chance. I've got to find something to give this ship. She doesn't deserve it. I took her into one battle and that's all I needed. This is the battle that you will be watching. But let's get into the stats. Now, with a permanent boost, I highly recommend if you're grinding any carrier to buy the boost, the bonus package, because you're going to be grinding this for 300,000 XP. That's a lot of expendable boosters to waste. So it makes sense for these kind of ships, like the subs and the CVs, buy the permanent boost because you're going to be up the ship for a long time. It's not like a tier 8 that you can just grind through, of course. So without the contributor flag, 5% to credits, 55 to ship XP, 65 to commander XP, and 100 to free XP with a clan. Survivability wise, or armor layout, sorry. She's coated in 19mm armor, 25mm deck, and an armor belt of 178. So she is lightly armored. She will take damage. Now, fully upgraded, or do I have the ship? Yeah, I do. Yeah, she is fully upgraded. So 57,300, 16% torpedo reduction, not much. Aircraft fully upgraded. Now, she gets F4U Corsairs, which have a max speed of 214, normal speed 178, 1700 HP per plane, engine boost 5.5 seconds, reload time 9.1. There's 3 in each attacking flight with 9 per squadron, 16 on deck, so you've got to manage these guys well. Aircraft preparation, one ship, one plane for 1 minute. I use Tiny Tims. You can use HVARs. It really doesn't matter. The Tiny Tims just give a lot more penetration, have like double the penetration at 68 millimeters, 32% fire chance, 33% fire chance, and 400 max damage. It's mainly just to set the fires and try to DCP everything up. But I honestly would recommend using the HVARs. I just like the Tiny Tims just for the extra punching power. Now, her torpedo bombers and her dive bombers are both SB-2C Helldivers, nicknamed the Beast, because they were very unlikable by their air crews at the beginning. Plane HP per plane, 2120. Max speed on the torpedo bombers, 164. Normal speed, 128. Engine boost, 22 seconds. Reload, 36 seconds. 9 squadron of 9, 3 in each attacking flight. 16 on deck. Fairly decent preparation time of 72 seconds, so you've got to manage these planes well. If you don't, you're going to be running out of planes. 1 torp in each payload, 6,500 max damage, 37 knots, really slow with a 3.5 army torpedo range. So very slow planes. So very slow torps. You've got to aim well. The bombers, HP on planes, HP on planes, 2360 9, max speed 128, or max speed 164, normal speed 128, engine boost basically same as the torpedo bombers. 9 planes in an attacking flight, 9 planes in a squadron, 3 per attacking flight, 16 on deck. Again, very long preparation time of 69 seconds for 1 plane. Now the bombs are where it really sets a bomb. Each bomb's in a payload, so it drops 2 bombs with a max gems of 9,200, 53 millimeter pin. That's good enough to pin most battleships you'll be facing in operations, except Musashi and Yamato. But most of others, you'll pin these with the bombs. 52% of fires. If you can damage stack the torpedoes on those, you'll be getting a lot of damage. That's why she was called Wreckington. Artillery-wise, she gets 8 127 5-inch guns, and then she gets 4 or the 5-inch American destroyer guns. So not a lot, but she does get those. Again, you're not going to need this artillery, useless. Airstrike, consolidated PBY, 1 flight, 7-kilometer range, 2,400 max damage, or 4,200 max damage and a bomb and a payload. Now again, it is automated, so you don't have to worry about it, and it's pretty accurate. AA, 16 Orlac machine guns, 2x2 dual mount Bofors, 23 quad mount Bofors, 8 5-inch guns, and then she gets the American, 5-inch guns here that also count. Continuous 555, explosion damage 1470, 5.8 range, average. Maneuverability is where it starts to get poor. I don't recommend doing anything with staying with the rudder shift. It's not going to make you any difference. At 16 seconds, turning circle large again at 1180 and a 33 knot speed. So average speed. Not the fastest carrier, but not bad. Concealment, don't bother doing anything with it. 14.5. But that's pretty much Lexington. For modules, though, is where we have to really pay attention. Air Groups 1, Engine Modification 1, Aerial Torpedo Modification 1 for the extra speed, Bomber HP, and then Flight Control Modification 1. Now you want upgraded torpedo planes, upgraded bombers, and then you can really pick between the HVARs and the Tiny Tims. The only real difference between the HVARs is that you basically drop you only gain 6 more rockets, but you lose a lot of damage and a lot of rocket penetration, and you lose a lot of fire chance. So it really depends. If you're comfortable using HVARs, stay with HVARs. If you want to challenge yourself and use Tiny Tims, use Tiny Tims. Now, armament-wise, nothing special. This is what her camo looks like, and this is what the alternate one looks like. It's gray, and then what? But she was named the Gray Old Lady. But for the build is where we have to really pay attention. I run Alexander Ovechkin because he has that enhanced survivability skill. You can't get him no more, so you'll just have to do with the normal one. So, air supremacy, improved engines, aircraft armor, continuous AA, minus 10%, survivability, plus 30 for each ship tier, sight stabilization for faster aiming, and then proximity fuse for plus anti-torpedo reduction at 10 plus 10 with 4 more points. It's really your pick, but I would go with probably torpedo bomber and then repair specialist for extra heals. That's what I would do. But let's get into the replay, and we'll show you how the Wreckington still does it, which was very surprising. Hello, and welcome to Wreckington Lives Again. Now, Wreckington was the name of Lexington in Random. She used to be so good that she used to, well, as the name implies, wreck everything. And I was a Wreckington. I ground this ship in randoms to the midway. And it was fun. Now, ever since the rockets and everything, she's been harder to play. And I honestly thought she was a relic of a bygone era. She wasn't that good anymore. But I decided, like, last night to really think about it. And, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give these tech ships one more shot. I'm gonna give Lexington a shot again. And this was the very first battle I took out in her. But it was significant enough to be like, okay, yeah. I get 3 torpedoes there. I take out my bombers. I get 1 torpedo. And that's a perma on the Ioba. And this ship is also fully upgraded. I do get a fire and a flood on that Ioba. So his damage is ticking. Now I only had damage stack this ship. 6 bombs. And double fires. So that was about 20,000 damage on that 1 bomb hit. That's a good drop. That's when you get a really good drop in the Lexington. That's why she was called Wreckington. Imagine being on the receiving end of that in randoms. Not fun. Now I just decided to speed through because, also CV spotting damage. I do pick up the Fuso. And my planes are detected. That tells me that they're already north. And yeah. Now, as you all know, I was like, in my CV attack guard, it's like, you don't take a CV Lexington and you go strike the carrier. Well, I decided to actually disobey my own advice, and I wanted to see what would happen. I am proud to say that while I didn't kill the carrier, I did damage it pretty good. But it wasn't enough, and it wasn't consistent enough to perma-kill. But I am using Tiny Tim rockets, because I want to get those fires stacked on it. But I'm at 64,000. And yes, I could have gone north to help my cruisers kill, those cruisers. But that's a lot of AA. And Lexington also doesn't have it's average for plane regen. I do get a fire and 7,000 damage. And I do lose 2 Tiny Tims coming out. So it does hurt. I send in my torp bombers or try to get a flood. But I mean, I only do like average damage. But I get my target hits on the ships that really matter. So, I think Lexington could kill this southern carrier, but not without a lot of plane losses. And also, you could probably kill it with less if you got lucky. I really thought those would hit. I thought he would keep driving straight. But he just turns in and just... So I really should have made... that should have been a better strike. So that's on my bad. But again, this was just to see what would happen.
This is Raptor. Moving on.
Five shots, around 9,000 damage. So, on that carrier, I've done about 20,000 damage. Had I got my torpedoes, that would have been higher. So, you can hypothetically kill the Southern CV. But you've got to know what you're doing. I still want to try and doing this in Indomitable, though. I do believe it is still very much possible. That was just a bad drop. If that had been a 20k south, 20k bomb drop, that would have been amazing. Fortunately, the DD smokes him up, so I can't really get an accurate hit, which really stinks. I do start my drop early, guys. I wanted to go for the CV. But I saw there was something a little bit more tempting out there. The DD. Now that DD is full health, okay? And I basically knock out him for only like a 900 health left. I don't really know what happened there. I would have had that. But I think they killed it just before the rockets, but I'm kind of sure I missed. But I mean, between that and the battleship and everything, that's 100,000 damage. It's not great, but it's not bad. That was just a bad drop. And this is kind of where my luck kind of goes sour. Like, I just have trouble at this point. And the two DDs up north have been kind of nailed, so I don't really get much damage off those. But I mean, the bombs on Lexington can be, you know, trolly. Like, you can see how tight this is. And one bomb hits. Like, it can be very trolly. Unfortunately, I couldn't get that aim, which is unfortunate. Fortunately, they do kill it before my planes fall back, so I don't lose any planes.
Raptor, Task Force Commander here. Transmitting rendezvous point. Do you copy?
But Lexington is a very difficult carrier. I mean, the plane speed is, you know, average at best. It's not fast. They are slightly durable, but let's be honest, there's more durable ones out there. But I honestly don't think Lexington works without a high point cap. I really don't. I only get one torp hit there. That takes me up to 108,000. So, you know, it's only average. I mean, usually with this kind of damage, you think you wouldn't get, you'd probably be in like the bottom like 3, maybe 4. So not high.
This is Raptor. Multiple targets detected.
Now, basically, we know that the evac is this. So I know that it's either going to be the battleships or the cruisers. I do start taking some AA. Fortunately, Calfee takes that out. And I thought about, let's go for the CV. But I decided to not go. I was heading towards where the battleships were going to spawn. And then I saw the cruiser spawn. So I swung back around.
This is Raptor. Propulsion plant out of action. We're dead in the water. Time for repairs required. Need cover from Allied squadron. Dropping a smoke.
And this is usually a very bad spot to approach. Like, watch my planes just kind of slowly disappear. I lost 2. I'll probably lose 3 coming in and out. But I do get 4 bomb hits on that Mogami. And taking about 20,000 health. A little bit, maybe around 10,000, but it's not bad. And he's turning, so I just decide to avoid him. And I go for the cruiser. Now, I can't make another strike because the fires is locked on. So I've got to change it. But I do get 2 torpedoes, 11,000 damage. I take my rockets in. And trying to get a good hit. Fortunately, the Tiny Tims just only do so much. Or I guess, unfortunately, they only do so much. I would honestly say that if I was going to redo it, I would use HVARs. I think HVARs are just so much better than the Tiny Tims on the Lexington. I truly believe that. Because when I grounded in randoms, I used Tiny Tims. Or not tiny. I did use Tiny Tims for a tiny bit. I get 3 torps, 15,000 damage, so pretty good damage. I pull my planes back because there's no point I'm going to get another strike in on that. There's no point. Because I know the reinforcements are coming in a minute and a half. And all my I have 1 good flight of torp planes left, and I need to use this torp plane. But I used HVARs and randoms when I ground it, because they were better at killing DDs. Yes, when the old aimer on the Tiny Tims was good, and you got some good, maybe 1 or 2 Tiny Tim hits on a DD. Yeah, that's about 8,000 health gone, and it was pretty cool to take that much health off with the DD, but I found out that the Tiny Tims, or the HVARs, were just a lot better. And I can more consistently hit the DDs. So, I would also use Tiny Tims, or I would use HVARs. Now, I'm pretty much just circling around. Because I know I'm only going to get one shot at this cruiser. So, I've got to be sure to be right there when he spawns. Fortunately, the planes do fly into me, so I do get some more plane kills. I get 6 more plane kills, so yay! They do spawn right now, so I'm already going in for the attack run. Because I've got to get it where I can make 2 drops to get the last bit of damage. I get about 16,000 on that one strike. And that's my last strike, because he's going to disappear. 2 torpedoes, oh. And I try to get that last bat.
In 5 minutes.
Just not possible. So 175 or 173k. I wish it was 75, but 173k in a Lexington. It's not bad. It's not terrible, but it's pretty good. But as you can see, all my planes, once these last ones come in, I still got fairly healthy air groups. That's another thing that highlights this. Is that even over those 16 minutes, I still have pretty good healthy air groups. I could still keep fighting for a few more waves. I could still keep fighting. If you can end up in a Lexington or any CV after this kind of op and still have this kind of plane group, that's pretty good. That's really good. That shows that you're a pretty decent CV player. Now, unfortunately, the Russians just do this so much better. Let's be honest. The Russian carriers do ops so much better. But there are a few exceptions. Kaga, Enterprise, Lexington's still a pretty good carrier. But I was very glad, but I also didn't expect the end screen at all. I thought I'd be like, middle to the bottom. I was very surprised where I ended up. Because I didn't do much. Let's be honest. Other players have much higher scores in this than any ship. Let's be honest.
This is Raptor.
But it was a good match. A really good match. Oh, wow. Second. I did not expect that. I'll take that. Congrats, Mines. Congrats. Give you a comp. Good game for him. I mean, our whole division pretty much was in the same boat. I feel bad for this guy, though. I really do. Did not expect that. Mostly cruisers. Lady Lex rides again. Not bad.